This is Irontrader, and this is midday trading. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of stocks here. First of all, I'll take a look here at Palantir and VRTX, which is pharmaceuticals, and both of those earnings are out after the close today. And then we're going to look at HHH, which is Howard Hughes Corporation, and Skechers, SKX. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, commodity ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Palantir and here we have VRTX Pharmaceuticals. Okay, both earnings are out here after the close. Now you can see Palantir. What a great run this thing has had. Okay, now I didn't catch all of it, but I got some of it. I got in a little bit late here above this gap because I was waiting for it to close above this 98.17. It did, and then I got a rally right on up here. Okay, now. Here we got, see where this red is here? We're getting up to like an oversold overbought condition, I should say. Sorry about that. See where we got up to an overbought up here, and then it just fell right on down. So we got to see what the earnings are. Remember, it's not just the earnings that matter or the guidance, it's what the reaction to that. That is what's going to matter here. Okay, but now we're getting to this overbought condition here. Your green is still over your red. Not saying it can't go higher, but I say you just have to get a little bit careful up in this area. Now, what we're watching here for today, we had to make this high of 124.73. We're looking for this 125.41. That's your breakout because that is your high. Okay, so now if we can crack above that, obviously 130 is going to be the target, and if you put a trend line up here, you could probably tag 150 area here with this Palantir very, very easily. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, but just watch this 125.41. That is going to be key. Okay, now here on the downside here, what we're watching is we're going to be watching here top of this candle right here. We're looking at 120.19. We're going to look at Friday's low. That's at 118.63, and then the big key one here is going to be this 116.81. Okay, so obviously if that's lost here, we can come to the bottom of this candle here at that 110.54. We just follow the candles all the way down 108.87. We'll come up here 160.55 level. We'll come down to the bottom there at 191, and then we're going to be looking here for this 21-day at 99.81, and obviously we have the 50-day right below that sitting right there at 91.96 level. But again, what we have here, we've got to be very, very cautious up here because if we can close above this, then yes, you got that 130, you got 150 in the sights. However, if we don't get above this, this could be a double top situation and it could come falling right on down. Okay, but we got to look at the earnings here like we did on the rest of the stocks like last week. Okay, so here was the earnings here last time, gapped up and just go. Okay, look at here. Okay, gapped up and went. Okay, so this could very well just pop right on up here very, very nicely like Netflix did. Okay, and then we could sell off down the road here. So again, we can ride this overbought here condition very, very for quite a while here, just like we have done in the past. Okay, so don't have any opinion. Just if you own this, just watch that 125.41. That's going to be very, very key. Okay, now VRTX Pharmaceuticals, they got their numbers here coming out here. Now you can see we're all kind of like jammed up right in this area here. So what we're watching on the downside is we're watching this 8 SMA here, okay? So this is what you're watching. Let me see if I can get that better for you. Okay, 500, pretty much 500 we're looking at. Your next level of support is going to be that 492 level, and then we're going to come right down to the bottom here at that 490 level. Now, if that is lost here, we have your big target down as your 200 SMA here, which is basically 471, and then we have your 100-day right below that at 466 level. But right now, this chart is looking very, very nice, okay? So now the breakout, what we're watching here is going to be looking at the top of this price channel. Okay, so you're looking at 510. That's going to be very, very key. Now, if you get above that 510, then we'll be looking here, and we're looking at the top of this candle here, looking at 513.98. We'll come up here, you're looking at 515.67, and then we have the top of this candle here at that 519.68 level. Okay, now you can see here, we go in the past here, you had 519.88. Okay, and then we have this top of this candle here at that 519.68. Okay, so what we had is a double top situation, and then you can see where she sold right on off. Okay, so always remember that. Now let's just look at the earnings here. Okay, so let me just take this back a little bit. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, so we take the earnings here. What do we have down here? We gapped down, and then we kind of went sideways here. Okay, so now this earnings here, we gapped up. Okay, so this doesn't really tell us a whole lot, but we have the earnings here where we just gapped here and then we just ran up nicely. Okay, so again, this here could just bust right on up here. So we only had to basically the one gap down in the last couple earnings here. We gapped and we went. Okay, so that's what we'll kind of look at here. Versus like here, like we have PLTR here, we just have to look at this. Okay, so what you have here, gap went right on up here, gap went on up here, gapped right on up here. So the odds of this thing going up higher is probably very, very good. Okay, but again, watch that 125.41. That's going to be key. And on this level here, just watch that 519.88. If you can get crack above that, well, then we just look for the numbers there. You're probably looking at that 550 area, but let's just see how this all going to shake out here, okay? But just remember, we had this double top in play, and we had a very, very good run kind of a situation here, okay? Now, RSI here, God, that's plenty of room to run. The green is over your red here. So again, if we have the good numbers here, this could just keep right on rolling up nicely. But watch that retest at 519.88. If it gets there, what the reaction is going to be. Okay, let's take a look here now at the Howard Hughes Corporation and Skechers. Okay, here we have Howard Hughes. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up here, I was watching on CNBC this morning, and Bill Ackman was on there, and they're doing a pretty good big deal here with the old Howard Hughes. You know, what they do is they own these like big blocks. I know like when you go out there in by Las Vegas out there, that Mark Wahlberg, he sold his house in California, and he bought into that Howard Hughes, built a big house in there, and it's like only 10 minutes from the strip or something like that, and they're making these, it's almost like a city within a city kind of a situation. So this one here, I think is more of an investment than it would be like for a trade, but I think this one here could be really, really good. Now you can see here where we're gapped right on up here, and we're right into this 50 SMA here, okay? So this is going to be your resistance level on the upside of that 71.35, okay? This is why you trade the charts. Then your next big level is going to be right up here at that 74.13, and then we have 75.12. That is your 200 SMA here if you can get up there. Then obviously we just follow the price channels across here. You got 76.45 level. We come up here. We got 78.17. And then we come up here to the 79.55. And then we come all the way up to the top of here at 81.22 level. Okay. So again, this one here is more of an investment kind of a situation. Now you can see where it gaps up. I never like these gaps because a lot of times they will get filled. Okay. So what we're looking for on the downside is 69.71. Okay. And there's your gap. And then we'll look to the top of this candle at 68.08. Okay. So we have your gap and your fill, and then we have this 8 SMA sitting right there at 67.93. And then we have the 21 right below it at 66.51. Now you can see where the 8-day moved up here, okay, went above that 21-day. That's very good. So if it comes down here and holds that 8-day, this could be a good buying opportunity here to take up. Now this isn't a really, again, isn't a trader, but this is more like a, like a buy and hold, more of an investment kind of a situation. RSI is only sitting at 54, plenty of room to run, green over red. This is looking very, very good. But just watch that gap and that fill on the downside in that 8-day, 21-day. That's the key. On the upside, we just really got to watch that 50-day. If we can crack above it, then we have that 100-day, and then we have that 200-day to deal with there on the upside. Now, Skechers, look at Skechers, man. Just big gap up here, okay? But this is why we trade the charts. Okay, so where did it go? It gapped right up, and it went right into the 100 SMA here, sitting at 61.94. Now, if we can get above that, we'll take here is at 63.23 level, okay? That's what we're looking at. Now, Skechers makes a damn good shoe. I mean, I'm a fitness, a buff, okay, all the time. I mean, I am working out all the time, and I tell you what, I tried these Skechers shoes, and they're freaking awesome. I mean, just really, really awesome. Now, sometimes in certain places they get a little expensive, but if you really want a good deal on Skechers, go to Sam's Club. Man, you could buy all kinds of stuff right there at Sam's Club, and then, man, it's the same thing as you'd get like over the internet here for like half the price. So again, Skechers, really, really good product that I'm finding out here. But again, what we want to do is just watch that 100-day, that 61.94, and watch that 200-day at that right there, 63.23. Now, if we can get above that, what we're going to do is we'll be looking right here at the top of this candle. Okay, so you're looking at that 67.10 level. Then we have this gap up here. Okay, so you have 73.63, and we have the fill, which is 74.91. So you gap, your fill, and then we have that retest up there at 78.85. Now, on the way down here, well, if this is going to be, that's a huge, huge gap to overtake there. Okay, so if it comes down here, what we want to do is just watch the top of this candle. This is going to be key, 59.65. That's that price channel. Okay, and then what we want to do is see how we never really filled this gap here. So what we have to do is look at the top of this candle here. This is going to be a support level. That's at 52.98. Your gap and your fill right there. But we also have this 50 SMA here, and then we have this gap right here. So I would say if you're trading this, just let this settle out a little bit. Let's just decide. Let's just let it decide if it's going to go higher. But that 100-day, 200-day pretty much stopped it in its tracks. Let it come down and try to fill this gap here. Then I think this would be a really good buying opportunity here, because this is one here that's really a good product. Okay, at a good price. And as I say, and I think that the stock will follow up here very, very nicely. Okay, I just don't care for that big gap in that field there. But again, that's trading. That's how it goes. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after your pit close. We'll take a look here at Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas. We'll take a look at the indexes. And then we always throw something else in the old mix. Now remember, turnaround Tuesday, very, very possible. We're down a little bit today. Dow's rallying back up here again. But remember, we had the Fed meeting this week here. So you got to be very, very key on all the info. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.